Climbing Kansas Mountains by George Shannon, illustrated by Thomas B. Allen. Read by Callan, Huston. The Kansas state bird is the western meadowlark. The state flower is the sunflower. Once in the summer, on a Sunday afternoon, when there was nothing to do but wish for a quarter for the swimming pool, my father said, "Sam, time you and I want to climb a Kansas mountain." "Sure," I said, and watched pigs fly, like he always did when nothing made sense. He knew Kansas didn't have any mountains. He helped me make my flower dome map that barely had a bump. Maybe not, he said as he gave my mom a wink. "It's up to you. Either way, it was better than staying at home." So I ran outside and hopped in the car, just me, no brothers, in the big front seat. When I asked, didn't he remember how my mat was flat, my father just smiled and said, "You'll see." But all I saw was the same old thing. House after house and the tiny park, Uncle Roy's cafe and the grocery store. We passed the school with its broken slide, then the old yellow house where I learned to walk, all the way through town on one straight street. Everything in the distance always wrinkled from the heat. Block after block, then over the tracks at the edge of town to the grain elevators where my father worked, moving shovel after shovel of wheat all day. My father stopped the car and began to grin his "got you" grin. I suddenly knew and began to grin too. "These are the mountains you were talking about? Elevator mountains filled with wheat?" "Why not?" he asked back. "The thing that makes a mountain is a high, quiet view. Are you ready?" "Ready!" Inside, as we climbed, my father told me of the times he'd climbed before, like the day I was born, step over step, up as high as 8 houses stacked like blocks. When we got to the top, we didn't say a word. We could talk anywhere but couldn't see all this any place but here. Everyone I knew, every garden, every house was way down below, with cold white sky between there and me. The school would have fit in my desk at school, and our house was hiding under trees like a sneaky cat. Fields of wheat still full and others cut to brown were all as small as our own little square of beans at home. There were squares as smooth as fancy pants and squares plowed up like corduroy, squares of squares and swirls and stripes, all held together like our tablecloth, but with ribbons of gold instead of red. All flat like the table in the dining room, a table grown so big it has no edge, a table so big the trees in town are its green centerpiece, a table so big it has a mountain of wheat for a giant to eat, a table so big. "Ready?" said my father. "Nearly supper time." "Ready," I said, trying not to grin, to drive across the table and through the centerpiece. "Do what?" he said. Then got me, as he grinned a giant grin. "Let's drive across the table to the table at home." Ever since then, when my father says, "How's about a drive across the table to the mountain and back. I'm the only one who knows that what he really means. Sharing time together, just me, no brothers, in the big front seat.